All right, and so we've had some more people join us. Any questions you might have, guys, about state? We're a week away.
Can parents ride our bus? I mean, I only have kids going,
Yeah.
and I only have, I think, two parents that want to come. Is that okay?
Mhm. Yeah. So in the past, it's been a thing where parents have been able to ride the bus. I would check with your principal to make sure that that is okay. But in the past, parents have been able to ride the bus down with us as long as there's been room on the bus.
Oh yeah.
So, but check with your principal to make sure that's 100% okay. There used to be a policy in place about you could only have so many adults per kids, but I think they've kind of uh, waived that or gone away from that. But yeah, I'm sure 99% sure it's gonna be fine. But yeah, I would check with your principal
All right, I
because
will.
they know they're up on all the field trip policy stuff.
Yeah. The other question I have is kind of related to what happened in our town on Monday. We actually had a field trip downtown, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, security said, yes, you're fine. It's an incident. And before the second incident even happened, Kentucky Center for the Arts called us and said, no, we can't come. Are there systems in place if there is an incident happening in Lexington when we're en route? And I hate to
So
things, but this happened to
yeah,
us Monday, so I like to be prepared for worst case scenario.
so yeah, I'm sure they would probably just reroute us and say, all right,
Yeah.
you're heading back to Louisville. And then they would do this virtually, a week or two later. So yeah, I'm sure it would be a thing where they would reroute us back um, to Louisville if we were on buses on the way en route to Lexington. Uh, Now there are other policies in place at the actual event, so hopefully that doesn't happen though.
Do they give them lanyards or something to kind of identify the kids by name and things like that? And
They don't give them. Okay, that's a good question. They don't give them lanyards. So, like there's not like a STLP participant thing. There are little like sticker badges that they could pick up.
Mhm.
Um, Generally, it's a good idea to dress your kids all the same way. So if they've got Okolona T-shirts that they can
I,
wear,
yeah, I ordered shirts. I hope they come in.
yep, yep. And if they don't, just like I said, have them wear. If they've got Okolona T-shirts, they can just wear. It doesn't have to say SDLP on it, just to be able to identify your kids right off.
How do people cart stuff? My thought was to get like one of my rolling suitcases from home and just have a kid kind of carry it around because that makes more sense than, kids trying to carry a bunch of Chromebooks and everything else. Is that what people commonly do, or do they?
That's yeah. That's exactly what they do. They do that exactly, and there will be security checking at the door, so that they'll make you open that and see, like there's you don't have anything suspect in there. But yes,
My Chromebooks, they're dangerous things.
yeah.
And did I
So
that I'm with Lure and Schaffner and Okolona now?
let me check here. I'm looking. Let me look at this exact. I'll bring it up here.
I thought was I mean, I don't really care who's on it with us on the bus, but I know Schaffner's on the other side of the county.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you are, yeah, with Lure and Schaffner. Uh-huh. Yep. So Lure and Schaffner. And the good news is, like I said earlier, like they're stopping at every school this year,
Hmm.
whereas last year they weren't. It would be like Okolona, Lure, Schaffner, and like somehow like Schaffner would have to get their kids to Okolona or Lure, that kind of thing. But this year they're stopping at every school. But yeah, so pickup time for Schaffner is 7:15. They plan to be at your school by 7:30 in the morning, and then on the way home, 8:40 return time for Okolona. Somehow they're shaving 10 minutes off of that uh, return trip, but okay.
Oh, morning
Um,
traffic.
oh, I see. No, they're going from Lure to Okolona, and that's a 10. Yes, I get that point. Yes. Okay.
And
I get it.
my daughter goes to Schaffner and she doesn't have a bus driver right now, or she does, but it wouldn't get her to school till 11 o'clock. So I'm actually driving her from Okolona to Schaffner. I don't know how they're getting there that quickly.
Yes. Well, I'm amazed that we've got enough drivers for this.
I,
So I mean
that's
that's a miracle in itself.
okay. I think I'm sorry. I haven't been able to come to these because of quick recall. And now I'm like vomiting questions on you. So
No, no, no. It's fine. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, that did wrap up recently, didn't it?
it did.
All right. Any questions? So that was a good question about buses. Any other questions about buses or state that are burning in your mind right now?
So I say I have one kind of with the same vein of parents. I have two that want to drive. They were there. I told them that I didn't think there was a fee or anything that they had to pay to come and watch. And then do they just kind of hang out? I've never been before, so I don't really know what parent. Well, I've never been, so I don't know what parents do. Do they just hang out with me? Are they?
No, they're free to. They're free
whatever?
to. Yeah, they're free to walk around and experience the stuff. Take their kids around. Yes, so they're free to do all that, and it is a free event. So there is no fee. So yeah, parents can absolutely drive and meet you there. That'd be great. Sharon, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. One from Helen's, what she just said. So if it's a free event, is it open to the public, and do we need to worry about children's safety?
So there will be security checking at the doors, like I said. So they do have guards or police officers there checking at the door, people that come in. And so that is, a safety precaution they take. Like I said, I would recommend dressing your kids in all, school specific clothing and like clothing, so they're easy to identify. And definitely, if you've got parents with you, have them kind of watch out for kids too.
Okay. And then I had another question regarding the presentation. So I'm gathering that they bring their own Chromebooks, and are their presentations digital, or do they need presentation boards?
So it's usually a mix of both. So generally what happens is like they've got the trifold boards in the background, like a science fair, and the kids are just talking through the project. And then they might want to show the judges, hey, we created this Google website. And so they show the Google site, just for like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, if that even. But most of it is just talking. Most of it, honestly, is just the kids talking and pointing to their board. They might point to the board about something. But yeah, it's usually a kind of a mix of both, but heavy on the poster board.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think my students they're making digital resources like they did before for the regionals. So I will have to tell them get busy. Okay.
So they could do, and they could do a Google Slides presentation and kind of walk through that as well. So we have some people that bring extra monitors. Oh. So, you can bring a Chromebook and present through the Chromebook. But some people actually bring a Chromebook and then they bring like a HDMI or something to hook up to an external monitor and present through that monitor. Okay. As well. But remember, it's going to be really, really loud in there. And so the kids are going to have to, they're going to have to be talking at the judges. So that's something you want to have in kids practice, is make sure they're talking to the judges and not at the screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Did you guys all see that the table assignments have come out?
Where is that? That was going to be my question.
Okay. All right. So I was wondering if he emailed you guys that. So if you go to the SDLP state website, so there's the SDLP website there, and you click on state. Okay. It says what's new today: volunteer judge assignments, level 2 project table assignments, and judging times. So if you click here, it takes you now. One, if you've got judges coming, you can view here to where they've been assigned. But to find out when your judging time is, if you go to events and then level 2 projects, level 2 project assignment table, click on that. It's going to say, oh, what in the world? All right, hold on. Good night. I just found this. So this site is not the most friendly. I just had it. Okay, go back here. Level 2 project assignment, judging times. Try this one. Oh, here we go. All right. So again, where I was is what's new today, level 2 project table assignments and judging times. Click here for level 2 project assignments. You guys can see my screen now, right? Correct.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Yes.
So here's where you'll find the judging times. And I recommend doing Control F on this. And you can do, so if you're Zachary Taylor, you can just type in Zachary Taylor, and you see that there are the judging times for your projects. Okay. So you got table 239, 240, 241. It looks like your earliest judging time is 10:05. Okay. So again, if you Control F and then type your school's name in, it'll take you right to it. Notice it's not, they have 9-minute time slots there. So in the past, it's been a 10-minute thing. I don't know why they switched it to 9 now, but you kind of want to have your kids do a 5 to 7 minute presentation and leave 2 to 3 minutes for questions from the judges. Okay. So he's updated a lot of this stuff here in the past 24 hours. If you have not looked at this, I do recommend looking at it. He does have the volunteer judge assignments, like I said, level 2 project table assignments, which I just showed you. There's maps, and so on and so on. If you are driving, the car parking should be free right there, right beside the Central Bank Arena. It has been the past 2 years. So. Questions on that? And actually, I can actually put it, that's not it. Okay, I'll actually put this exact spreadsheet with the times in the chat so you guys can just have this directly.
I do have a question about, is there the times yet for the challenges?
That's a good question. Let's look at this website. Am I not still presenting? Am I? Nope.
I've gotten emails about the Quiz Bowl and I can't remember what the other one, but I've gotten emails for 2 of the 3.
Okay. Yeah, so if I go here to challenges, it should show me. I don't see a specific like schedule, like laying out like this is your time, Alex Kennedy, for this. So no, you should be getting an email though, honestly, from likely these people who are the leads on these competitions. Now, Julie, you said you got an email from someone?
Yes, it was 2 different people. One was for the Quiz Bowl, the lead running it. And then the other one, I think it was for the tech team, the help desk one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you if you have not gotten an email from those people by Friday, I would look at this list and email them and say, hey, we registered for this competition. Do you have us as being registered? What can you tell me about that?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Julie Powers, go ahead.
Okay. 2 things. I had a kid with a pretty severe food allergy, and I do as well. I ended up emailing, and I know it's too late, but I did end up emailing the Levy restaurants. Do we know if we have a W-9 for them? Because our bookkeeper said there wasn't one, and they're not responding now. They did respond that they can't accommodate food allergies, but not about the W-9. Do you have that?
So I don't. So honestly, I didn't think anybody would really take them up on that pre-order because of the 23% service charge. I don't know that there's a W-9 for that. As far as like that would be a JCPS specific thing, correct?
Most state schools have to do that.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know that answer. I don't. I'm going to say no on that. But if you email Jeff Sobolski and kind of ask that question, he might be able to help.
Okay. And then the other thing, I just kind of wanted to put this out there. If you have multiple schools on your bus, I get his phone number, but the Lure one, we messaged each other and exchanged numbers so that if we're waiting on people or we're getting lost, we have that like, hey, we're all on the bus. Is everything okay? Just to kind of keep in communication with each other because we don't necessarily know each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
And I have a question about the level 2 and then their judging times. And so how will it work if they know they make it to level 3, or like what's next after level 2?
So yeah, level 3, let me do Bitly STLP super sheet. So level 3 will be announced. So what they'll do is they'll come on about what's the let me look and see if I see what the latest judging time is. It looks like 11:30, probably the latest judging time. So around 12:30, 1 o'clock, they'll come on the announcements overhead basically and say the following tables have moved to level 3, and they might say 209, 436, 211, 440. Okay, and so you have to know your table number one, and you just kind of have to listen for that. And it'll also be posted somewhere online on that STLP state website. But generally, you want to listen when they announce the table numbers for level 3, and then once you get to level 3, what it is people will come around. Let me find that rubric. Rubric is here. Okay. So level 3. So the level 3 is this rubric on slide 15 of that STL project toolkit. And generally what it is just different judges will come around and say, tell me about your project. And it'll be a thing where it won't be quite as formal necessarily as the level 2 project. But they'll ask you, tell me about your project. They might ask questions. And then they'll narrow it down to the top 10 projects. And then you'll have a bunch of different judges come to your table, and they'll just say, give me the 2-minute rundown. Okay. But level 3 kind of gets less formal, and kids kind of get really, really excited when they start to see multiple judges come to their table, because you don't really know how far you've gotten, whether you're a top 10 project or a top 3 project at that point. And so there's a lot of excitement around, kids will start to notice that this table is getting a lot of attention. Why is that? But I would definitely look at this slide 15 to think about level 3. But remember, if level 2, you're going to be grouped with 8 other projects or 10 other projects. You have to be the best project in that group of 8 or group of 10 to move on to level 3. I should say the project with the highest score.
Is there a high percentage of projects that move to level 3? I mean, I realize that's a crystal ball question, but ballpark me something.
Well, like I said, so you're going to be in a project group with 8 other projects, or 8 other, it could be 8 other projects from 4 other schools. But let's say, so maybe 1 out of every 8 projects moves to level 3. And so there are 400 something projects, I believe, maybe 500 projects. So whatever the math is on that.
50 to 60-ish.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And then they choose a top 10, and then they choose a top elementary, and a top middle, and a top high, and a top technical. All right. Any questions on that? Now, Mary, I see you're on here. Mary, did Brian Quillen reach out to you about the bus situation? Okay. Well, Mary, just in case you can hear me, hopefully, I'm sure Brian did. But yeah, so Brian from Fairdale High School is now riding your bus at Conway. Good. Awesome. Yeah. So, but he will meet you there at Conway. So that's good. No worries. All right. Awesome. Are there any other questions about state? Last chance to do that. If, like I said, in that email from Monday, if you want me to come out Monday or Tuesday and kind of watch your kids present, I can do that. Just fill out that Google form. That's in that 3 things email from Monday. So Mary says the final award ceremony is at 4. Is that what it's saying now? It's 4 o'clock. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so it does say that the final award show starts at 4 o'clock and should be wrapped up by 6. It may run a little long. It may go off at 6. But like I said, we talked about this earlier with the bus situation. I know that some buses aren't slated to leave till 7. Last year, the buses were there earlier than that last leave time, and so it might be something again where you want to talk to your driver and say, "Hey, can you be here closer to 6:30?" But generally, they're there a half hour, an hour earlier anyway. Sometimes those bus drivers don't even leave all day long. They just kind of sit there in the bus area.
So then that means students really wouldn't be able to leave their things on the bus.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they are able to leave their things in the bus. You just have to work that out with your driver, along with getting the phone numbers of the schools you're riding with, those coordinators. I recommend getting your bus driver's phone number and kind of working with him throughout the day as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because somebody actually last year, I believe some schools left their lunches on the bus and were able to go get them throughout the day.
I was going to say, my other question relates to lunches. Do people typically just put them all in one big box, or do people bring coolers? Or I know you just said sometimes they can be left on the bus. For anyone who's been before, what is the typical thing?
Yeah. So, Rebecca, did you do that last year by any chance?
We did pizza. So like we didn't take the school lunches. We ordered lunch there, and that's what we've done again this year. But we did take snacks and like drinks for the kids. But what I did is like I'd gotten these like drawstring backpacks on Amazon, and I gave each kid a backpack, and then they like packed the snacks that they wanted in their backpack before we left. So they were in charge of it. But I did see other schools like that had coolers that they had. We weren't able to leave anything on the bus last year because they were doing like the different runs. And so we had to take everything off. And I'm pretty sure that last time our bus was not the same bus. Like, I don't think it was the same one that came back and got us. But we did take a cooler with water in it. But besides that, we didn't pack all the lunches and stuff like that.
So, and then generally what happens too is people will, I've seen people bring boxes of like sack lunches, and like they'll put them under their tables that they're assigned at state. And so you can store stuff under those tables as well. Sharon, what's your question?
Well, I remember reading something somewhere on a document about Jefferson County lunches that you had to provide a cooler to keep it at a certain temperature. I cannot tell you where I saw that, but I know I did see that somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry, 1 second. The cafeteria manager would give you, that's what happened to me. They would give you a whole cooler with all the food in there. So that's how they're supposed to give. So yeah, the first time that's what I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the cafeteria manager should know that then. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting because people don't take as many field trips as they used to. Used to be like, but for sure, check with your cafeteria manager and your principal on that. But yeah, it sounds about right. All right. Any final questions that you might have? right. Check out those Project Judge times. And like I said, if you need me in the days leading up to it, right here, you can email me. And we're good to go, guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Have a great day. Depend on one.
All right.